There's plenty of ways to kill some time out there. He's Nick Bright.
And that guy is Marcus Bronzy.
I think you can progressively get more and more disrespectful every time you say that. And that over there is Nick.
That dustbin over there, yeah.
Yeah.
That shitter.
Yeah. And that waste of space in the frigging corner that smells of absolute. No,
I think he's on about Bill. Hey,
is Billy right? Yeah. So on today's show, we got a special guest, Ortis, in. And to be fair, we spoke a little bit before we were meant to press record, but record was pressed and it sounded all right, so we might as well hop straight into it, right,
yeah,
Nick?
Just roll straight into it, because sometimes you get the gold. You get the gold from before you go, right, and now we're going to start. Hello! Like, you get all the kind of, like, preamble, like, real talk, just gems in there, so...
Sometimes the best audio is a smooth transition when you don't do something like, starting from now, we're going to hear someone talking in 3, 2. In fact, should we not do it? Should we do it for this?
Maybe we should.
Okay, I'll let you take lead.
Maybe like we should just roll into it, and you don't know when this bit finished and that bit started. It's like, oh, it's just like walked into the room. Like, could this bit be from the other bit, or like, is this from the bit that we recorded after he left?
So if you were going to confuse people and he was in the room, what would you say to Ortis?
I'd be like,
who is in the room, or is he?
Yeah. New series of The Gadget Show. How you feeling?
Or
how would I blend it perfectly so people can't tell when this conversation ended and that one started?
Pick a random subject and just go into it.
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably ask him about music and rappers that he likes.
Ludacris was my top MC for a minute through a few albums, actually. I think probably Chicken and Beer was when he stopped and started doing a bit more serious stuff. But skits and the tracks themselves, I loved them.
Do you remember the skits?
Yeah.
You don't make skits no more, man. It's such a shame. Like,
do you think there's space for skits? Because everyone just gets the single. So where do you put the skit?
Because albums used to be concepts, right? Or told a story. But now with the ability to download your favourite track and your favourite track alone, do you know what I mean? Or in whatever order you want, there's no narrative now. Trying to sell a conceptual album, I think, is a harder job now than it's ever been.
You're right. I think the last album I got that was a concept was Good Kid, Mad City, Kendrick Lamar. Yeah, because that was a story. Other than that,
although vinyl's on the rise, right? So maybe that whole concept will come back, because on a vinyl you've got to put effort into selecting different tracks. You just put it on and you let it play.
Yeah.
But the thing is with vinyl is, although it is making a comeback, it's only making a comeback within a certain demographic, I feel. Like I can't see kids ever embracing, do you know what I mean, buying vinyl, it's that technology. It's
kind of that artisanal hipster thing.
Well, even I watched the program, did I read a news story, and it is about Technics, and Technics, even though clearly there is a huge market for them in like DJs and like young people, they don't market to those people at all. They market 1210s to like jazz fans, you know what I mean, like men who who have their like listening room. They go in and they listen to their jazz on vinyl, and it's like warm and nice. Like that's their main target market. It's interesting.
And I think last year as well, for the first time, the first time in ages, vinyl outsold CDs, but people ain't really been chatting about CDs for a minute.
Vinyl's cool because it's collectible. I don't think CDs are really collectible. They were never collectible like vinyl was, and vinyl is like a massive like art sleeve. It's like, you know, it looks nice in a room, you know what I mean, like vinyl on a shelf, like the Calix IKEA shelf, you know what I mean, the squares,
the blocks,
it's nice in those shelves, isn't it? Like, whereas CDs just looks a bit like plasticky. And
do you think part of it is accessibility though? Like, for example, when you got a record, one, they're really expensive. So if you got a record, you're spending like £12-13 sometimes. So you take that home and you can't really change it. You kind of got to enjoy it. Whereas now, if I don't like an album, I can just swipe left, it's gone, and get another album. Do you think that's kind of changed the way you feel about music as well?
Possibly. It's a bit more disposable. And I guess with the rise of streaming, you're not really spending money on a specific album, are you? You got a choice. Yeah.
Anyway, welcome Ortis Deley.
Hey, how you doing?
Presenter of the Gadget Show. Welcome to How to Kill an Hour. Let's play the intro music now.
You serious?
This is How to Kill an Hour. He's Nick Bright.
He is Marcus Bronzy.
And we're joined by Ortis Deley. How you doing, man?
I'm good. Yeah, good. Thank you very much. Yeah.
New season of the Gadget Show coming up.
It's coming, yeah.
What season are we on now?
March 10th. I think we're on season 25. But it's not been running for 25 years. They basically have like 2 runs a year.
Yeah.
It's been going, I think this is year 14.
It's a lot of seasons though, isn't it?
It is.
That's a lot of years as well.
It's a lot of years.
Come on, it's like nearly the same age as me.
And how long have you been in it for? You've been in it for the majority of the run, right?
8 years now.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
I know. It's a long-term relationship.
I think what's funny about it as well, obviously the peg of the show is gadgets. You've been on there for 8 years. The way that stuff must have changed in that time is crazy as well. Like when you first started, I bet it was like, oh, this amazing new gadget that is going to revolutionize the world is now defunct.
Well, I mean, back in, I think it was 2005, we were reviewing Wi-Fi and Wi-Fi routers. And we were like, don't know if it's going to catch on in the same way as like mobile signal, like 3G and whatever that's going to lead on to. I think WAP was what we were dealing with at the time.
WAP.
Yeah.
Wireless Access Protocol.
There you
WAP
go,
was
man.
so dead. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're right. I mean, so many changes. What was going to revolutionize the world back in 2004 didn't.
Yeah.
And some things have come in and, snuck in behind us. We can't live without Wi-Fi now.
Crazy.
It's like when you go on holiday, innit? Like the mad thing is when you go on holiday, you're like, rejuvenate, forget everything at home, just chill out on the beach. You get to the reception of the hotel and you're like, Wi-Fi code, please.
Yes.
Like as soon as you get there.
Yes.
First
yes.
thing.
And you log in, check it works. And if it doesn't, you start feeling a bit nervous.
You can't relax.
Yeah, you might miss a tweet or an email. Let's just backchat real quickly. In case the listener's been living under a rock, what is the Gadget Show?
It kind of does what it says on the tin. So it's a consumer show where we give, to the best of our ability, advice about anything that's out there to make your life easier or increase your leisure time. So from the obvious, laptops, mobile phones, pads, washing machines, kettles, so white goods, as well as your smart devices, bicycles, in-car tech, future technologies as well, how we might be interacting with our online content, television, anything. And I think that's part of the success of the show, because the net can be cast far and wide and we can pretty much include everything. It doesn't have to be electronic. It just has to be a gadget, something that helps you to achieve something else.
There's like a few of you that present the show. Was it 4?
There are 4 of us,
presenters.
yeah.
And something that I was wondering is there like specific areas where each of you are kind of more clued up than others?
Yeah, I would say so. Up until recently, actually, and some of the stuff we've been shooting, I tend to do future tech.
Okay.
So the stuff that's just maybe 5 at most 10 years away that we've got, that we can tangibly experience now, with the view to seeing it in our homes sometime down the line. I'd say that's what I did. That's what I do.
So VR is like old news to you.
Yeah.
Like, VR. That.
And then there's John, whose area of expertise is laptops, smartphones, and cameras.
Okay.
And cars. I mean, he was a motoring journalist for a while, and was editor of Top Gear way back.
Really?
Back.
I did not know that.
He said you're hired to Jeremy Clarkson.
No way. Wow.
Oh, wow. So there's a lot of people that would thank him. Maybe a producer that wouldn't.
Yeah.
With a sore face.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so we do. We all have our different areas of expertise.
Okay, and you got a couple of new presenters as well this season.
Yeah, and I can talk on them now. So Jason Bradbury, whose name was and probably forever will be synonymous with the show, has decided to part company with it and chase some of his own endeavors, and I'm keeping an eye on him because I know he's about to make a big splash in Sutton real soon. He decided to go. Amy is expecting, so she's pregnant. So the team thought it was time to maybe reinvigorate the show somewhat. We've had a little bit of a rebranding. We've got a tech journalist and blogger, a vlogger actually joining us, Georgie Barrett, and we've got Craig Charles of Red Dwarf fame, Coronation Street if you're into your soaps,
Robot Wars.
Yeah, so he's joining the team, and he's kind of going to be overseer of the three of us, Georgie, John and myself, as we go out and get the stories, and then we'll bring tales back to the studio to be discussed.
So the format of the show has changed then quite a bit.
It's going to be interesting.
That'll be interesting with Craig as well. I don't know if you've worked much with Craig, but I had to interview him a little while back for One Extra for my show. Yeah. And it was when we were doing a series called the Legend series during Black History Month. So we done like a really long, in-depth interview with Trevor Nelson about his career, really long, in-depth interview with John Barnes, and then Craig Charles as well. And just like the interview was a crazy edit for my producer, because he is just like 1 minute he's there and then he's there and then he's there, and he don't stop slating you as well. Like I bet the filming is going to be super fun, because he's just always looking for an opportunity to diss and like just like cause banter in the studio.
Sounds like, from what I've heard, he thrives on banter. So if you give as good as you get, then you're gonna be all right with him.
You got to hold your own.
Yeah.
Live a cuddly and banter.
Exactly. I've met him the once, and I'm very excited about the future of the show. So yeah, bring it.
Were you a Red Dwarf fan as well? Or?
Yes, it was, and still am.
Okay,
still am.
So that's a dream come true then, really, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm trying not to let it show when he's in the room.
Lister, sneaking out, Lister.
Trying not to geek out while he's in the room. So
sick. Yeah. Another one of your roles on the show, I feel like, is it feels like it was one of your jobs to maybe experience some of the harsher side of technology, like when they put you in a haunted house once.
I can take any more, to be completely honest with you, man.
Yeah, I think they kind of looked at my chiseled frame and my good looks, and they're like, yeah, that dude's kind of like a Brambo, or like a black Rambo. So let's put him in some let's put him in some situations and see, you know what I mean, how he did. And I think I've done all right over the years.
And that reaction from that clip there is that sort of an example of how Rambo would deal with a situation when he's in a haunted house?
Rambo, you mean?
Rambo.
I think it's important to understand that one, I'm making a television show that is informative and entertaining. So if Brambo was to go into a haunted house and just dispense with all the zombies, it might be a little bit boring.
Okay.
So what you're trying to say is you wasn't scared at all. It's all for the telly.
Okay.
Right.
And what you may hear as screams are kind of vocal channeling of energy.
Oh, your chi.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right.
I thought they were edited in later by the production team, because you just weren't scared at all.
They wouldn't do me like that. We kind of had an agreement that, I would use some of that. Because if you hit the right pitch, because you can hear there are some high pitch screams in there. if you hit the right pitch, you can shatter shit.
Oh,
yeah.
All right. Okay.
So rewind, because you lot listening to the podcast, you're just hearing it. If you go and watch it, you will see zombies and stuff. Their bones shatter, and if you look closely at the TV screen, you'll see a odd crack.
So what you're saying is it was a weapon against the
weaponized.
Okay,
right.
Cool.
Okay.
Sort of like when Superman went, stuff like that.
Except again, he was really upset. Where I was chill.
Oh, you were
It's
calm.
Just,
You were calm. You would obviously say
it's
that.
just,
The high pitched girly screaming was a weapon, right? Okay,
Okay, cool.
I'm with it.
That's a good one to have in the arsenal. You've also used this weapon as well when you're doing some world record breaking experiences, right? Which you've done quite a lot on the show. You and the Gadget Show.
I think all jokes aside, I've got a couple of joint world records with the team.
Yeah.
One of which that springs to mind was the heaviest object moved with the power of the mind. Okay, so there were 4 of us, and we each had this headgear on which would read alpha waves. So you're required to relax and concentrate at the same time, which is difficult. That increases the intensity of your alpha waves, which is like a brain pattern. This headgear picks up on that and will carry out an instruction. So this was John, myself, Jason and Susie, and we had up, down, left, right, one of each. And we had to use our commands to, our mental commands to bring a industrial magnet across the room, lower it, pick up a Volkswagen Polo and move it into a square. No vocals, no hands-on controls, all done with the power of the mind. So that's one of the world records.
I find that just like amazing.
Yeah, I mean it was a trip doing it. And again, when you see this footage, when we do something like that and we're loud and we are screaming and we're happy, it's real. It's like someone comes to us with an idea and it's like, okay, yeah, we're going to try and move a 1-ton car without touching it. You know, how are we going to do that? Well, we're going to try and do it in only a way that the Gadget Show can. Another world record I've got, which is one of the more stupid ones, was they said, let's take a regular road bike, so a push bike, bicycle, and let's put some electroducted fans onto it. So these are big fans, which have big batteries on them, and they're like little jet engines. We strapped 6 of these to a drop handle racing bike, and the plan was to go as fast as possible down a drag strip, a 1/4 mile drag strip. And we got in touch with Guinness and they said, okay, no one's attempted a world record like this before, but it can't be just arbitrary. You can't just go 2 miles an hour and say, yeah, it's a world record. So they set the lower limit at 62 miles an hour. If I broke that, then they would recognize it as an official world record.
How do they decide stuff like that, though? Do you know how they kind of just decided on 62 mile an hour?
I don't. I would imagine that they look at any other records that are similar.
Right, okay.
And so there has to be a level of effort, possibly risk, that go into making.
Because I did wonder that, because like surely if I just said pizza a million times in a row, like just pizza, there must be a world record for that, you know? I can do that.
Yeah, but they would. I guess they would have to recognize it.
So I'd be like, Nick, you'd have to be running at 60 miles an hour,
exactly,
delivering a pizza while saying it at the same time. So the lower level was 62 miles an hour.
Yeah.
How did you get to break that record?
Bro, it was horrible. It was horrible. I had motorbike gear on.
All right.
So you're not really as agile wearing that gear as you should be on a push bike. Although I didn't have to pedal, I literally just had to sit on the bike. Now this drag strip is quite sticky. So we found that at 30 miles an hour, the handlebars were just rattling. And that I was losing any streamline aspect, and the fear was go any more over 30 miles an hour and I'd end up stacking it, having a crash.
Must have been scary.
And it was scary. And I was less than halfway in terms of the speed I required. So at about 32 miles an hour, I said, we can't do this anymore. But I had noticed that when we came off the sticky track onto the runoff, the wobbling stopped. So even though there was a fair bit of debris from where cars crash and stuff like that on the runoff, we figured it was best to attempt it there. And I managed like a 59 and a 61. And they said, can we do it one more time? And I swear to you, I had nothing left in me. I really, really, really didn't want to, because the closer I got to 62, even on the runoff, the more it was wobbling. So with the last run, I literally just tried to focus everything into my arms to try and keep them, not lock them out, but just to try and manage the vibrations as much as possible.
You can do it. You can do it. You can do it. I pray to every god available that the measuring equipment worked. If it didn't work, I'm going to jail because I'm going to kill somebody. Yes! 72 miles per hour. I'm a record breaker.
And again, another example of the relief. Do you know what I mean? As well as the, you know, the feelings of achievement as well. So I've got that plaque up on the wall in my my downstairs bathroom. But yeah, mad achievements over the years, man. It's been a crazy ride.
It just sounds like very scary, if I'm honest.
Yeah, so it is. Some of the stuff is. Another one I did, which is probably my biggest achievement on the show, and this was about 6 years ago. They said, "Otis, you got 6 weeks to learn how to fly a plane, and we're going to give you commercially available simulators." So I had they came and they installed a gaming computer in my yard. I had the joystick and the keypad, the controls as they would be in an aeroplane, and then I just had a screen which showed me what I was doing while I was flying. 6 weeks to master that, and then I had to go in a biplane, so 2-seater, and do it for real. So taxi, take off, fly a circuit, and then land it.
So quick question. When you got the simulator at the very beginning in your house, how many times did you crash?
Enough.
Wasn't that so scary though? Weren't you like, I'm crashing in the game, I got to do this for real?
Couldn't get off the ground. So many things to take into consideration. Crosswind and, you know, your land speed, as well as your you know, what vector you're on, and all of that kind of thing. And it was scary. And I honestly think if I felt after 6 weeks that I hadn't made enough progress to jump in the plane, then bun anyone that was watching it and expecting me to jump in a plane. I wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't have jumped in a plane and risked my life and the life of my instructor if I didn't feel there was some chance that I could do it. It helps when you've got people gassing you, saying, yeah, you can do it. They probably didn't believe it at the time, but you know, I did it. And when I landed the plane, and you know, you look at footage, you can see my instructor, her hands are literally, they're in her lap, and then they go to the control. They're in her lap, and then they go to the control. And salute to her for having enough self-control to not just say, fuck this, I need to take it. Not that I was flying raggedy or nothing, but she was sitting next to someone who had only been on a gaming simulator for 6 weeks. Normally at this stage, she's been with them for 10 hours.
That's in the air as well, 10 hours, yeah.
She held it back, and I landed the plane, and it all came out, all the F-bombs and the and the swearing and stuff, because it was just pure relief.
What was the landing like? Smooth one, was it?
Yeah, pretty much. It wasn't a windy day, so it was there was a high bounce, so I hadn't really controlled the landing perfectly. So I hit the tarmac and bounced fairly high, but was able to get it under control, and then just wanted to get at the plane.
You must have like supreme respect then for like these pilots that are landing double-decker A380 jumbo jets and that. Boy,
all of that without using your special power that you use on the zombies. The same power.
Yeah, because again, that vocal can be used to control objects.
Right.
Well, and the brain power one that you did, you know, you could have done that.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Yeah.
I'm saying, man, you're looking at a Superman right here.
Marvel's Ortis.
So if I want to scream, let a brother scream.
Can we see some more superhero Ortis then in the new series of the Gadget Show? Do you think we're gonna? If the producers are listening, I would like to see more of Ortis going fast, high.
Probably. I mean, if I had anything to do with it, of course. If you want to see you want to see, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, why repeat stuff, man?
I mean, there's plenty to be done. Like climbing a building with
Yeah.
suction pads. Like, I think, what do you reckon, Nick?
Yeah, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
You know those jet men in Dubai? I'd like to see you doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'd be good.
You're a bit late. Jason's already done the suction thing up the side of a building.
No, but again,
That's Jason.
that's
though,
all the
innit?
building. That's Jason. We
that's-
want to see Marvel's Otis doing
We
it.
do it up the Shard.
Yeah, the Shard. That'd be good.
Yeah, that's all glass, isn't it?
Yeah, or maybe just freehand it. No gloves. Just I don't know.
Just put sticky pads on your shoes.
Just lick your hands in the shoes. That's it. Yeah.
All right, I'll have a word.
So that was the first half of our conversation with Otis from the Gadget Show. He's been that thing over there is Nick Bright.
And that one over there is Marcus Bronzy.
Plenty of ways to kill some time out there. Part 2 of this is coming up tomorrow. If you're listening to this fresh on the day of release, and if you're not, well, it's out now.
Yeah, it's already there.
Yeah, just cop it. Bless.